Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I'm coming back at you with another Wargaming and Miniature video. And in today's video, we're going to continue on with my American War of Independence project updates. If you've been following along with my American War of Independence project updates, you know that I'm doing a 15 millimeter project using the rules Land of the Free, and I am targeting Freeman's farm as my first scenario. So I'm trying to build up the forces for Freeman's farm. And then once that's done, then we'll expand into other battles using the same figures or what have you, but just basically expanding my collection until I'm able to do multiple different battles. All right, so we're still working on Freeman's farm. And this right here is the 2nd New Hampshire unit. It's in, the figures are Old Glory, and war bases are the bases, and I use 30 millimeter by 40 millimeter bases. As per the rules, Land of the Free. A standard sized battalion is 3 bases, represents about 300 men approximately. The flag is GMB. We used the Vallejo ground texture mud, and we also used the Knock Spring Meadow static grass, 2.5 millimeter. That's pretty much what I've been using. I've been using either the Warlord 2 millimeter or the Knock 2.5 millimeter. Yeah, and so now eventually I will go ahead and paint the edges of the bases, and then I will put like a color on the backside of the base so that you can identify each unit separately. But this unit is pretty unique to this battle. They're wearing light blue coats, so that makes it a lot more I don't know, recognizable on the battlefield. All right, let me show you the next unit. All right, this one here is the 3rd New Hampshire, also Old Glory, GMB flags. And also 3 bases representing your standard sized unit. Now you'll notice that I intermixed a few of the buff pants. Primarily they're green, but there's a couple of figures that have buff pants. I just wanted to throw in a little bit of variety in there. And that's the 3rd New Hampshire, which, along with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, they're all part of Poor's Brigade. All right, let me show you the next battalion I finished. All right, now this is the 2nd Connecticut Militia. So these guys they're not really in any kind of uniform. They're just civilians called up to fight. And you'll notice that there's a lot of rifles in the militia, uh, but there are a few of them, a few soldiers that have bayonets on their muskets. Uh, I found a New England militia flag. Was able to put that on there. Yeah, I used a lot of browns, some greens, very few blues, and the drummer is actually wearing a British red coat. You know, the I think they came out pretty good. Mixed up their pant colors, uh, and the hats are either brown or black. Mostly black, but there's a few brown hats out there. Um, Now, on each of these different regiments, I used a different wash. I'm going to kind of bring these up and kind of show. I think I used a sepia. I used the Vallejo sepia on this unit as a wash, and then on the second New Hampshire, which was these guys, I used a brown wash from also from Vallejo. It says that it's a wash for lightly colored uniforms, so I thought that would be a good one. I used it's called a brown wash. It's very light. It's very much like the soft tone or maybe even a light tone from Army Painter. And then on the third New Hampshire, I used strong tone. Right, I used the strong tone from Army Painter. Uh, Out of all three of those, um, I think the strong tone is probably my favorite wash. It gets in there and really highlights the cracks and crevices. But when it does come to a light uniform, sometimes I just have to kind of uh, pull back a little bit and use the softer tones on the washes because I don't want them to darken up too much. All right, guys. Well, those were the three battalions that I had uh, been working on. Right, we got the second and the third New Hampshire, as well as uh, second Canadian, oh, not Canadian, second Connecticut militia. I have two more units that need to be finished for Freeman's Farm, and that would be the second Mass and the first Canadian. So I've got them already prepared and washed, and I need to file the bottoms and clean them up a little bit before I put them on their popsicle sticks. But yeah, so once I get these two more units finished, then we'll be ready. Freeman's Farm will be up, well, except for maybe doing some updates on some terrain, uh, just to make the table look really good. Because the table is a good portion of the presentation of your game. Not just the figures, but it's also the terrain board. You don't want any kind of like vinyl rollout uh, grass print or something like that because it doesn't look natural, right? So I'm going to work on some terrain after these next two units, and then we'll be up and running on Freeman's Farm, and we'll get that going. All right, you're caught up in my progress. So remember, if you want figures like this, you should shop on my eBay store, where I sell Old Glory, Blue Moon, etc. Warlord games, uh, all different brands. And if you're interested in having me do a paint job like this for you for your figures, just contact me at this email address, and I will be glad to work on a commission for you. All right. Well, you can also find the pricing scheme of my commissions in the description below. There should be a link to a Google Doc. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next video.